Okay, we are live. I'm gonna see if anyone joins in because right now it's 8:20 a.m. where I'm at, and yeah, it's kind of early here, so I don't know what everyone else is up to, but I do know it's New Year's Eve, and so people should be out. However you guys celebrate, whether you guys celebrate barbecuing or any of that stuff. I'm pretty sure people are out doing what they need to do, but I wanted to get in a live stream, the last one of this decade. It's a pretty big thing. And what I'm going to talk about in this live stream is just, the journey of the channel from its conception in 2011 to where it is right now. The struggles, the journey, all that stuff I'm going to share with you guys. So, kind of talking tech, but not really kind of talking about tech. Just really just, um, being humble and transparent and all that other stuff, Because, the channel itself, I've tried like so many things on it. I'm sure those people who's been with me, in the very beginning has seen so much transformations on this channel from everything that I've tried to do, ideas that I've tried to push. Um, Let me just start off by saying, like, the ultimate goal that I had in mind for this channel was that to build a strong community behind it, where not only did I just upload videos and talk about tech and talk about smartphones and unbox smartphones and all that stuff, but to have people that I could consider friends on, even if we weren't in the same city where we can physically meet up and hang out, but to have friends, like I'll be upfront with a lot of people. I don't have a lot of friends. Like I don't have a lot of friends. As crazy as that sounds, I don't. At some point, I guess the way that my life has changed from, in my 20s to in my 30s has been a huge transition for me. In my 20s, I had a lot of friends then. I just flung this at me. um, let me pull that out. That's like, it feels like my head's in a vice. But in my 20s, I had a lot of friends. But I mean, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. But like, I had friends, but there was just a lot of drama behind a lot of it. And I'm someone that just likes to chill. I just like to chill. I don't like all that extra stuff. So um, from you know going through some bad times, in my mid late 20s, somewhere along the way, I just like pretty much like outed a lot of people and kind of kept to myself, kind of remained reserved and all that. And yeah, so I just ended up being a loner. In my late 20s, I just fell out of communication with a lot of people who wanted to and tried to stay my friend. That they weren't bad people or anything like that. A lot of the negativity I pretty much cut out of my life. Um, and so yeah, I became very introverted, very closed off. Built these imaginary walls around me. And by doing so, I ended up isolating myself away from, away from a lot of people. And went through time with just like meeting people, but never really like trying to effectively build some sort of friendship out of it. You know, there's only been one person who has been my friend for over 20 years. And he's more of like a brother to me than he is a friend. Yo, what's up, Sneed? Um, and that's my brother Ruben. So I was like probably like the only friend that I had. So like in my early 30s, I was friendless. I didn't have the experience of going out and hanging out with a bunch of friends, on a Saturday night. I didn't get to do any of those things. Like I had given up that people that people had good hearts or anything like that, because I just was surrounding myself by a lot of bad people. And that's when I decided, like, hey, like, what would happen if I started uploading videos to YouTube, right? I mean, I was already confining myself to these 4 imaginary walls, pretty much friendless. And yeah, my fiance, who was my girlfriend at the time, I mean, she listens to me about tech, but it's only because she loves me, and it's not like it's like a passion of hers to listen to these things. So I was like, okay, let me upload some YouTube videos. And so this channel was never my original channel. This channel that I'm uploading videos on happened to be the channel that I tried to build a collaboration with afterwards. My original channel, the original Aloha Android channel, got totally just bleeped off the mat. This was my first experience in 2011 where I had first dealt with online hate. I forgot what the video was about that I made, but a lot of people tend to have disagreed with my opinion, and came on, and rather than sticking to the topic at hand, like at first, they would project their perspective on things, but then it became, where it was like they made fun of my face, they made fun of my weight, they made fun of my voice, they just kept going on, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I was very new into the YouTube game, and that channel I started in 2010. And after just the ongoing, and you know what, when it comes to online bullying, this is where, like, I try to help people who tell me that they deal with bullies online, is because, with all that barrage of just hate speech going on and on, I found myself, I guess you can say, in a way, addicted to going back to that video and looking at the comments and seeing what people were saying, and just, it would affect me so bad. Because remember, like I said, after outing a lot of people that were friends of mine throughout my 20s, I had isolated myself, so I didn't really have a friend. I didn't have a best friend near me. I didn't have a friend that I could talk to, so I isolated myself. So YouTube was, hey, Happy New Year's. MJ Music Test, Happy New Year's, and thanks for coming in and watching. But yeah, I didn't have a friend, so YouTube was my friend. People who commented and said nice things, kind of like brought me back to life. But then there were those that bullied me. So after realizing that I had this addiction of looking at all that hate speech and taking all that negativity in, I killed that channel. But along the way, there were some people who were like, yo, like, this guy's cool. And they were communicating with me through YouTube. So I built another channel, which was this one. And with this one, I was like, how cool would it be if I collaborated with a bunch of people? However, I was broke. I was really cash poor. So it's not like I could drive out anywhere. And people say words don't hurt, but they do. Yeah, William, they do. They really do. But yeah, I was cash poor. I couldn't go out and collaborate with people. So I ended up giving the logins to this channel to a group of people. And so we ended up, like, just uploading videos on our own to this channel. So, like, if you actually went through my entire library to the very beginning video, the very first video, you'll find my video. You'll find a video from a guy named Teddy Prosser, who had his own YouTube channel where he talked about indie wrestling and wrestling itself. You had, what's his name? At&t, who had a YouTube channel called Red and Milla. He used to talk about tech too, and so he would upload videos. There was a handful of us, and we uploaded a few videos, but eventually, they maintained and focused their own channel. And so this channel fell by the wayside. Like, you'll see, like, after that, there wasn't really much uploading going on for a while, until I came back to this channel and saw that it had some potential. And after studying how other YouTubers did things, I decided to pick the ball up with this channel and then just run with it. But because those guys were a part of it, I never deleted their videos. I always felt like their videos should remain as the earliest videos on this channel, because of the help that they put into it. And over time, I just, was uploading videos, and man, I was like, the reason I'm doing this live stream is because last night I spent the night just looking at my old videos, and I was like, man, I was shooting with the potato. You look at the image quality, it was horrible, you know, like it was really horrible. I'm surprised anyone actually even thumbs up those videos and found it helpful. When I'm looking at it now, you know, like through a screen through an iPhone 10s, and I'm like, it's so pixelated, it's so distraught, and the audio just sounds so bad. I'm like, wow, but you know, people, they like the ROM reviews. I was doing a lot of ROM reviews on the Galaxy S2 for Virgin Mobile, which is the Epic 4G Touch. And I used to irritate family members because they'll be like, yo, I tried calling you, you didn't answer. And then I'm like, yeah, I was flashing another ROM onto my phone, so you know, it took me about a good half hour to set everything up. Like, I was flashing ROMs onto my phone like 3 times a day. Like that's how bad I was with my addiction to ROMing my Android device. I was flashing 3, 4 ROMs. It was like, man, you know, I was at a point where I was creating full backups and then saving those backups to the micro SD card. So when I went into recovery, instead of flashing a ROM, I would just, you know, restore from a full backup, and just, you know, was it what recovery did we have for that one? I know it wasn't Phil's Touch. I believe it was Clockwork Mod. Clockwork Mod recovery is what I had then, and yeah, I was just going from full backups because flashing a ROM, and then, you know, if it was an AOSP ROM, then having to flash GApps on top of that, and then just all that, you know, like you would have to do it for the very first time if you're installing that ROM for the very first time. But then after that, you could just create a full backup and then just go from that. Unless the ROM you're using requires it to be flashed by a different type of recovery, like if it needed to be done by twerp, or if it needed to be done by I don't think Amen Ra's recovery was for the Galaxy S2. I think that one was more for like HTC. Man, I hate my beard right now. It's like all over. I'm like, ugh, I need to get some beard balm. But yeah, so I was doing that for quite some time, and I was meeting people through comments that I was able to help out, you know, to help them, you know, flash that particular ROM to their Galaxy S2. And then I got a hold of an HTC Evo 4G for Virgin Mobile, which was the Evo 3D on Sprint, and I was flashing ROMs on that, and I was doing a lot of custom ROM videos. You know, again, I was cash poor. I couldn't go and buy phones to review. The phones that I could buy, you know, they were already kind of beat up or anything or something like that. So I was just, you know, I was just doing mostly ROMs. It wasn't until I switched from Virgin Mobile to Boost Mobile, and I ended up getting the Kyocera Hydro Reach. I believe that's what it was called. Was it the Reach? I can't even remember. I know it was one of the Hydro series from Kyocera, but I got that, and you know, my finances was getting better, and so after getting that and getting the missus, the LG Vault, I just started slowly, little by little, like purchasing Boost Mobile phones, because you know, Boost Mobile, you just had to log in online, put the MEID and swap, and your service would be active on the new phone that you got. You know, not as easy as it is to just pop a SIM card out and put it into another phone. So, but yeah. So, I started doing reviews on Boost Mobile phones, and I kind of went crazy and I kind of went nuts with that. Like, I was spending money, and you know, at first it didn't seem like, you know, like it was a really big thing, but then I started slowly seeing that I'm like just buying every new Boost Mobile phone coming out, unboxing it and reviewing it, and just like what it was doing to my finances, it was becoming a problem. And so I tried to slow down off of that, especially when I left out of Boost Mobile. I mean, when I switched up and got Google Fi, or Project Fi, it was called Project Fi at the time, and then you know, I started getting unlocked devices. I know I got like the Honor 8. Hell of a badass phone the Honor 8 was. I don't have it anymore, I sold it, but it was a really awesome phone. And I also got the Nextbit Robin, which I sold, and I regret selling it. I wish I had it. I mean, Nextbit no longer is around. Was acquired by Razer, so Razer pretty much like has all their patents and intellectual property and things like that. It was really awesome phone. The Nextbit Robin, I wish I had it right now. I would have probably done a follow-up video to it. I wanted the red version of it. The only one I can find was the white and mint and green one. But I wanted the red version, but that was so hard to find. But yeah, I grabbed that, the HTC One A9. Just eventually working my way up the ladder with devices and kind of like trying to slow down. So I still got like a bunch of devices sitting in the closet. I think I did a video sometime this year showing all the phones that I still had in my possession. Um, but yeah, throughout the growth, um, one of the things that I told myself, because I started seeing my channel pick up some traction, I want to say in 2016, I want to say that. And I told myself, one of the things that I didn't see happening in the YouTube community a lot was like, people that were starting to establish themselves as a known content creator, helping the new content creators come up. And so I told myself that anytime that I found somebody that I thought, um, really was passionate about what they're doing, like I could give a damn if they had the best quality camera, if they had the a microphone set up and all that other stuff, if they were shooting from an Android device or an older iPhone, it didn't matter if that's how they were making content. All I wanted to see was that they had the passion for it. And if they did, then I would try some way to use the amount of followings that I had to introduce them to the people who are watching my videos. And even till today, I still do that. I mean, I hadn't made a spotlight video in a while, spotlighting somebody's channel. Um, that's the reason why, like, when I meet, up and coming YouTubers, I I try to push hard to advocate. And you know what sucks though is like when you have like the good intentions of like doing that, but the way that you see it happening doesn't happen that way. Like I totally felt like crap when I was pushing for Alter Tech to to gain new followings, to gain some traction with his channel, because I felt that he's really passionate about this, and that he would make a great content creator with great ideas and very entertaining videos. And I made a video about his channel trying to get people to go towards it, and then I was uh so heartbroken when like my phone videos would get like 100 views, 500 views, 1,000 views, and then trying to showcase and push a new YouTuber for people to follow, so they get fresh meat. Basically they get fresh ideas from a fresh new face, and that didn't go so well. And I was like, why? Maybe I suck at promotion, I don't know. um but yeah, that was some of the things that I said I would do on YouTube. Besides being a content creator, it wasn't always about chasing money in my channel. So like I remember when what was it, we built the We Are Techies YouTube channel. I forgot the logins for that. We built that. As a collaboration of Paul Tech, myself, Tech Right, CV Tech, John from Magic Tech Review, and Everyday Tech, and several other people. And like I was watching, and Tech Right was one of the ones that I seen just explode. He just exploded out of the gate. Because I remember when I first met Tech Right, and we did the live stream We Are Techies, and he was a part of it. I think at the time his channel had gained a following of, I want to say, 3 or 4,000 subscribers, um, roughly around there, between 3 and 5,000. He was somewhere within that area. Paul Tech and I we were around close to 6,000. But anyhow, so after that point, I watched Tech Right's channel just grow, and now if you go to Tech Right's channel, I think he's like at what, 60 something thousand. So as soon as he got out the gate, he was gone. He exploded, and he gained a massive following. And for me, that was really exciting, because and I'm not saying that his channel got, you know, the way it is because of me. Like, that's all because of him. Anyone that I've thought has potential in this, and I advocated for it, and either made a video about or live streamed with them, you know, whatever. When they take off, you know, in this YouTube game, it's all them. It's all them, because they're the ones that are doing the work. They're the ones that's making the videos. You know, they're the ones that's taking the time to edit the videos and come up with new ideas and you know, just a new look or whatever, just to kind of bring that aesthetics to the video. That's all them. So I never take claim to someone's success on YouTube or whatever. You know, I just got excited to see, like, oh wow, you know, like he did it, you know. And you know, John from Magic Tech Review skyrocketed up there. It was like in the 20,000s. CV Tech started to explode, and he's in the 20,000s right now. And I'm watching all the people that, you know, at one point in time, we all collaborated together, you know. Like, I was starting to make friends. Again, key point in the beginning, like, you know, when I got on YouTube, was just because I didn't have any friends and I needed interaction with people, you know. And mobile tech was my thing. That's what I like to talk about. So so I'm watching them go. You know, Paul Tech exploded out the gate too and started gaining a lot of traction. And you know, I remained a loyal follower to all of them. You know, I watched their videos, make sure I hit the thumbs ups, you know, all those things. Good morning, babe. I borrowed the car to live stream in. I hope you don't mind. And Ruben's coming at 1 o'clock for the barbecue. I don't know if Carlos is gonna swing by. He dropped me off last night. I'll tell you guys about that in a little while, but it was kind of cool. So yeah, yeah, I'm watching various YouTubers go, and you know, I remember at one point and someone asking me like how I felt about that, because you know, the We Are Techies, we stopped live streaming together. Everyone was again, you know, focusing on their own channels, the same as the very conception of this channel. Everyone who was a part of the launch of this channel started focusing on their own channels, and eventually everyone just kind of like fell by the wayside and really didn't talk all that much. Only this time was a little bit different. I mean, Paul Tech, you know, still communicates with me. I think when I was going out to California, he hit me up on Twitter saying that if I was close by to where he lives, to let him know, and he'll meet up and we can grab lunch and grab a beer. Shout out to Paul Tech. Sadly, I wasn't going anywhere near where he lived at. I mean, I could have, because like I went to Long Beach, and where he lives is about 40 minutes away from Long Beach. I could have drove that, but I was doing that celebration of life for, you know, my best friend Alex, who passed. You know, so yeah. And speaking of Alex, he was one of my biggest supporters. You know, I met him through my fiance. He's actually he was her guy best friend, you know, which is a very rare thing to have. A guy that's friends with a girl that doesn't want anything more than the friendship, doesn't have secret feelings or any of that stuff. That's what Alex was to my fiance. And so then he ended up becoming my best friend. And so then I found a friend, an actual physical friend that I can talk with. And he was a very big supporter of my channel. I mean, he would watch every video just to watch it and to put a thumbs up. And I think one time I remember he built 3 YouTube accounts so he can put 3 thumbs ups on my videos, and it was crazy. But yeah, you know, I still stay in contact with Paul Tech. Check right, you know, he's very busy young man, so I don't expect him to, like, you know, stay in touch with me or whatever. But when he does, like, chat with me on Twitter and stuff like that, you know, it's a very short conversation, but you know, it's really cool to basically like just see, you know, his progression and whatnot, and how he's grown. John disappeared from everybody for a while, you know, so a lot of his fan base was like, where'd you go? Because, you know, he was streaming every night. CV Tech, really nice dude. We stay in contact every now and then. I try not to gain involved in, like, on the YouTube side of things, because these guys are, you know, they're my friends, and in no way do I want anyone to perceive it like I'm trying to eat off of their plate, because, you know, their channel growth has been good. Like, I'll be honest, my channel growth has been really, really slow. I'm not going to say it's crappy, because every YouTuber grows different, you know? You know, from 2011 to 2019, I gained, you know, following of 10,300 plus followers. And some will say, well, that's not, you know, very good, because they've seen other YouTubers who've only been on for maybe like 3 years go from like 0 subscribers to, you know, over 50,000 subscribers. And you know, it just really falls in just like how things are done and how things work out for you. Um, you know, I'm not gonna say that I have the best voice that can captivate people to listen. Some people say I do. Some people are like, no, they don't want to hear me. You know, it's all about perspectives. You know, in that case, um, my videos, I may try to play around with it every now and then to try to make them fun. And I know that's a very rare thing that happens. Most of the time, it's just me talking like how I am right now, and you know, showing off whatever I'm gonna show off, and that's pretty much it. Um, I don't try to copy the next YouTuber. I don't try to put, you know, these pink and, you know, yellow and blue lights or purple lights in the background to kind of illuminate the background to make this look, because I see that every YouTuber is doing that. You know, I stick to the classics. I stick to what worked for me for a while. I mean, yeah, sometimes you do have to evolve and change things to make your channel better. You know, because you know, wherever the channel is at right now, I never imagined it would get to that. You know, I never will. I never in a million years thought that I would hit 10K. I never thought I would hit 5K. You know, I really thought I was going to be one of those YouTube channels that just had like 100 or 200, you know, subscribers, and that's all it would ever be. You know, because I don't have a lot of fancy gear to work with. You know, like I see other YouTubers and they talk about it, like, you know, Roberto Blake talks about it, and people talk about like quality and content and all these things. You know, like they really bring this expectations of just not Hollywood style editing or filming, but you know, kind of like using that concept and applying it to being a content creator on YouTube, and the outcome that you can get millions of followers just based on that. Which is, you know, I'm not saying it's not true, you know, but again, like I tell people, when people are asking, like, are you gonna get this phone or that phone or that phone or that phone? You know, like, I'm cash poor, people. Like, I don't have the money to drop on phones like that. I've said it. I've admitted that in a video in the past, and that is absolutely true. You know, whatever extra money that I have ends up going to my kids anyways. I mean, like, I have money for them to get the things that they need and the things that they want. And then the extra money that I have that I could go and buy a phone, you know, I just don't know, I'm weird. It's like I'll look through OfferUp, or I'll look through something, you know, another site for a phone. And then I think about what I could do with my kids. And then we end up going out to like a movie, or we go out to dinner, or we go out to, you know, buy new toys or something. So the money that I could invest into my channel ends up going to my kids anyway. So yeah, I don't ball out of control like that. You know, I don't have a massive amount of sponsors. I don't have any of those things. So you're probably wondering at this point, why am I talking about that? And the point that I'm talking about that is, look where my channel is now. You know, I didn't need to buy fancy cameras. I didn't need to buy expensive microphones. I didn't need to invest and buy a phone every week or every other day. I didn't need to do any of that stuff to gain a community of friends, which is what I've been looking for. You know, I know not all 10,300 people watch my videos that subscribed, and I know some of them are subscribers only because it's a habit to click the subscribe button when you like, I mean, I do it. I'll watch someone's video for the first time and be like, oh wow, you know, their video's pretty cool, and I'll hit subscribe, and then realize like 2 or 3 months later that, you know, they've been uploading videos and I haven't looked, you know. So I mean, I know like not all 10,000 people are actually watching my videos on YouTube like every day, every other day when I drop a video. I know that. But just seeing where it grew to, and what it's become, having people that constantly have open discussions with me and continue that, you know, where it makes it interesting to read the comments and have people just like have a good point of view, even if it doesn't, you know, like it disagrees with my point of view, but it's a very good point of view. And so we continue on, we have that discussion. Well, I'll comment back, they'll comment back. Shout out to Coffee. But comment back and forth, you know. Yeah, so It was crazy. It was craziest journey. As far as anyone ever recognizing me as a YouTuber, that only happened once. It only happened once that I got recognized, but I was like, I was really not embarrassed, but I was really shy and shocked at the same time that, because you know what, like you expect YouTubers that have like 1 million followers or 500,000 followers, obviously, you know, they're going to be recognized by people in their community, right? Like where they live. And, you know, Phoenix is like what, the sixth largest city in the US. And I was never getting anyone recognizing me from any of the videos. So I'm like, all right, you know, I can walk through life. No one's going to know who I am out here. And then, you know, I'm building a following on YouTube, a community of people that I would call friends, and have that. So anyhow, I went to Walmart on near 40th Street and Thomas, or 36th Street and Thomas. And every time I go in there with the family, the kids go to the toy section. The missus, she goes and she looks at new outfits for my daughters and for my son, and looks at, you know, clothing options for herself, which is why she has a massive amount of clothes that I really believe she should donate half of that right now. But I mean, you know, women can never have too much clothes. So I go to where the grown man's Chuck E. Cheese is. I go to the electronics department. You know, I go to look at some video games for the Nintendo Switch and for the Xbox. And then I go look at phones. I go see what kind of prepaid phones they have. If there's an interesting one that, you know, I'd be willing to invest in and buy and then unbox and review. Then I go over by where the power banks are, because I'm like, you know, I could use a pretty good power bank, because I play Pokemon Go, and I don't care what anyone says. I play Pokemon Go and enjoy it. Please, people get off my back about that. Uh, so I went to where the power banks are, and this guy comes up and he's like, oh, do you need help with anything? And I'm like, no. Isaac Diaz, Happy New Year's, man. And Isaac has been a part of this channel for a long time. So, you know, everyone give a shout out to Isaac. You know, I see him in Sneed's live streams, and, you know, I see him in everyone's live streams. Where I go, I end up seeing him there. But Isaac is really cool. And he's been a part of Aloha Android for a long time. So he is part of the Ohana. But anyhow, so the guy in Walmart, he asked me if I need any help. Happy New Year, TJ. TJ also been a part of this. Been a part of the Ohana for a long time here on Aloha Android. But yeah, I tell the guy, you know, like I always tell him when they ask me at Walmart, you know, like do you need any assistance? Do you need any help? I'm like, nah, you know, I don't need any help. And I can see that the guy's hesitant to walk away because he wants to say something else to me. So I told him, like, after that, I was like, you know, that I may be picking up a power bank. And he's like, oh, is there a specific one you're interested in? So I'm looking, and he's like looking at me, and I'm like, you know, I'm probably looking at that power bank. It was the Anchor power bank, the 10,050 milliamp power bank, real heavy beast brick. And then he's like, well, I recognize you from your channel. Wasn't really too sure that you have, you know, you're a YouTuber. I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, Aloha Android. And I was like, whoa, you really know me? And he's like, yeah, I've been following your channel for a while. And he was like, you know, I like your videos and the things you talk about. And I didn't know how to act, right? I didn't know how to act, because I was like, someone actually recognized me from YouTube. And I was just like, well, what do I do? Because I don't want to be like super energetic and come off like an obnoxious a-hole, like self-centered or anything like that, because that's not who I am. But I didn't want him to feel like that, you know, I didn't care about people who actually took the time to watch my videos, and didn't want him thinking that I was stuck up and that I thought I was better than people. So I was trying to play it cool and just, you know, like, above all, thank him for actually watching my videos. And then I was trying to just strike conversation just like as a regular person, like, you know, like, you know, because he was talking about that he got, I think he was getting the LG Stylo 4, because at the time the Stylo 4 had just come out, and that he was also interested in the Moto G6 Play. I think it was, yeah, the Moto G6 Play, and he was like, it's like some of my videos helped him out when it came to like issues with certain phones, and so he really appreciated the help, and he never expected to run into me because he knew from my videos that I lived here in Phoenix, but he never expected to run into me, and then I'm like, I never expected to be recognized. So I told him, like, it's pretty cool to be recognized, and I really appreciate it. So spoke to him for like a good 5 minutes, then picked out my power bank, and he took it out of the case and took care of me. And he ended up following me on Twitter. And yeah, I haven't seen him at that Walmart. I go to that Walmart a lot, and when I go to the electronics section, I try looking for him. I don't know if he switched departments, or if he left to another store, or if he left for another job. But if he sees this live stream, he watches the replay. If you ever want to hang out and grab lunch, just hit me up on Twitter, because I know you still follow me on Twitter, and I still follow you on Twitter. Just DM me, and we can go have lunch and just hang out. Yeah, very first time that someone recognized me. And yeah, so as far as like for like other YouTubers, I think the craziest moment was the whole recent thing with what's his name, Painfully Honest Tech. Within, from 2011 to 2019, I always traveled under the radar. I never, if people had issues or anything like that, or there was drama on YouTube, I didn't enter into the drama and take sides or anything like that. I didn't, go after people, and because I didn't want anyone going after me, so I didn't do it to anybody else. I didn't like, I just didn't like the drama. I always wanted people to just get along because we all had the same goal. We were all driving towards making our channels better and building a strong community behind our videos. And so when Painfully Honest Tech said what he said in various different live streams, and people were calling him out for it because he was going through a rough patch, not being selected as part of Team Pixel to get the Pixel 4, as he was part of Team Pixel prior, I believe. Everybody eventually, when you, especially on YouTube, and that's one of the things about being a YouTuber, is like, when you wear your heart on your sleeve and you're transparent with your emotions, people are going to get all sides of you. They're not just going to get what side you want to project to them through this camera, but they're going to get you as a person, if you choose to be that, if you choose to be transparent with people, if you choose to just, create a representative, a persona to showcase to the world and hide who you really are. It's really hard to connect with people that way because you won't have that attachment. So anyhow, enter Painfully Honest Tech. He I guess was like comparing himself to other YouTubers that Google, or made by Google, decided to invite into Team Pixel. And some of those people that were invited in that were smaller channels that he was talking about were people that I knew, like CV Tech is part of Team Pixel. Who else was, I know Tony Pazzo is part of Team Pixel. I believe Tech Right and Kevin Breeze are part of Team Pixel. So when Jason said what he said, I was like, okay, I never really do these, but I'm gonna do it. And I made the video, a smaller YouTuber's perspective. I made that video. Not to bash Jason, not to clout chase, none of that stuff. That's not why I did it. I didn't do it because I thought if I responded back, I was gonna gain millions of subscribers for doing that. I wanted to tell another YouTuber how I felt because I'm the little guy. 10K subscribers, I'm humble for it, right? But when you stack it compared to MKBHD or iJustine or Super Saf or any of those guys, right? I'm a blip on the map compared to them. So I am the smaller YouTuber. And when Jason said what he said, like, it didn't break me down where I was like in the room crying or any of that stuff. Happy New Year's, Paul Boyd. Happy New Year's, and thanks for coming in and watching. Appreciate it. Onward and better 2020. 2020 is going to be the year of perfect vision. It better be, because it's 2020. But yeah, so I didn't make the video for any of that. I didn't try to get clout off of it or nothing, right? The whole reason was that I wanted to remind Jason at some point what it was like to be a smaller YouTuber. And I never thought he would see the video. Honestly, on my kids, on my daughter Jaylyn, on my daughter Nevaeh, on my son Rain, I never thought he would see it. Never in a million years did I think that he would actually see the video. So you could imagine my surprise waking up around this time and checking on the Studios app and seeing a comment from Jason. And I had a double take, and I almost gave myself a crink in the neck, because I was like, wait, he saw the video? Holy crap. And not only did he see the video, but he typed out a response, and not a sorry that I made you feel this way, thumbs up. No, he actually commented his thoughts back to me. Some people have said that that's insignificant, but to me, and that's the reason why I forgave him. That's the reason why, like, I didn't continue this back and forth or anything like that. Because it was never about creating drama and having a back and forth with Jason. It was never about clout chasing. It was none of that. I just wanted Jason to know how I felt based upon a lot of the things that he said and how it affected me as a smaller content creator. I couldn't speak for everybody else. I can only speak for myself. But I also did it because some of my friends became a part of Team Pixel. And I wouldn't want anyone to look at them in that limelight. Like, for a while, as I'm flying under the radar on YouTube, I watched the separation between, tech enthusiasts and the top 5%ers in the tech community on YouTube. I seen what almost became a back and forth. Luckily it didn't, but I seen all these things happen. I heard, I'm not going to throw people out there, but I heard their thoughts, their feelings about the top 5%ers. So when someone craps on them, it sucks. But I understand Jason's point of view. He was going through a rough patch, and he does express himself. So yeah, we have to remember, right? Like, this is YouTube. You can freely express yourself on YouTube, And so yeah, when he responded back, I was just like, whoa. Like, he actually watched my video and listened to what I had to say. And I doubt he watches any of my videos from that point on. But Jason, thank you so much for even taking the time to listen, because it means a lot. Sometimes people don't understand the smallest things can actually amount to the greatest things, to the biggest things, to somebody. It can impact somebody, And yeah, so I chose to forgive him, and I made a video expressing that I forgave him, because a lot of people were still giving him crap afterwards, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, it's been said, it's been pointed out. Zach Talks Tech called him out on it. Viper was, live streaming and brought Jason in, and they had their thing. So I wanted it to kind of just go away at that point. Like, just, okay, what was said. Jason apologized to every, smaller creator out there, and it was never his intentions of making them feel like that they weren't worthy to be here on YouTube, that they didn't belong here. He made that apparent, and I believe him, and I understand the frustrations when you're a part of something and you get kicked out. It hurts. Like, people can't sit there and say, like, oh, you were just booted out of Team Pixel, who cares? Like, no, it does hurt. If I was part of Team Pixel this year, say they actually accepted me into their group and they sent me out of Pixel 4, right? And then I get the Pixel 4a. And then when the Pixel 5 is coming, nothing comes my way. I don't get told that I'm no longer part of Team Pixel. but I'm like outed. But I see like all my other friends and colleagues here on YouTube getting the phone left and right and doing their unboxings. Yeah, it's going to hurt because I'm the odd man out, you know. I mean, people forget, like, you know, we're human. We have emotions, and sometimes our emotions get the best of us, and then we say the dumbest things, and it may be how we feel in that moment, but it doesn't mean that's how we generally feel the entire time. And yeah, so that was a crazy memory for, you know, from 2011 to 2019, you know. The growth of the channel, the people that I met along the way, and then came some other crazy points that I want to flash back to. I'll admit to you guys this now. I was cheesing from ear to ear when, what's her name? Pearl from Visible reached out to me and said, hey, we scoped your videos and we would like to invite you to test out Visible. Would you be interested? And you know what? When I found that email, she had sent it 3 weeks prior to when I found that email. So I'm glad that I looked through my emails, and this is why I want inbox back from Google, even though it sits in the Google graveyard. Because Gmail, when you open the Gmail app, it defaults to what it calls primary, but it doesn't show you all your emails. And that day I decided to be nosy and go through all my emails, so I clicked all mail, and I was scrolling through it, and then I realized 3 weeks ago somebody from Visible emailed me, and I recognized the name because I remember seeing all these advertisements for Visible and, you know, Visible Cloud and this and that. And I'm like, oh, well, what's this person want? And her name was Pearl. Shout out to Pearl. Pearl, if you see this, okay? I know I haven't been bothering you, and that's just because I don't feel like, you know, it's proper for me to just keep messaging you about things. But I still want to thank you for giving me that shot and for allowing me to be part of the group that you guys had chosen to, you know, test out Visible and make videos and give feedback on. And also shout out for the goodies that you sent me. I just can't wear the shirt. It's white and I don't want it to get damaged. I don't want it to get stained or anything like that. So I keep the Visible shirt in my closet where it stays nice and white, and I just look at it and admire it. But I will not put it on because I don't want to ruin it. But yes, so I got to test Visible, and you know what? Truth being, now that it's out there, is that I knew that Visible was going to remove the cap weeks prior to them actually doing it. Couldn't say anything, but yes, I did know. I did know they were going to do that. And so, yeah, here I am with Visible right now. And I want to also say something really fast. If you have Visible yourself, you know how they said that that credits were no longer going to be applying because they were doing the Visible party pay? Let me just show you guys really quick. Can I just hide this? Oh yeah, I can. There we go. Visible credit, $220 in credit. And I just gained another $20 the other day because it was at $200 in credit. So now it's at $220. So I'm still gaining credit. And because I have party pay, it's basically covering my bill. So I'm literally going to have free service of Visible for a while, which is why I'm not giving up the service. Free service. But yeah, so shout out to Pearl for giving me that opportunity. Crazy thing, what I think also that I want to share with you guys, is how much of a dork I was when I won Boost Mobile's giveaway. Oh man, so Boost Mobile was doing a giveaway. I think it was on Instagram or Twitter. I forgot which one it was. And I entered to thinking like, oh yeah, you know, I enter these things all the time and I never win. And then all of a sudden I got a DM saying that I won. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So what I won from Boost Mobile was 4 Pokemon Go Pluses. So those little wrist straps with the little button thing that helps you catch Pokemon so you don't have to pull your phone out. And I was like, oh, that's cool, you know. Me, my fiance, my brother, we play Pokemon Go. We actually go out into the community, link up with strangers, make new friends, and and go raiding and participate in community day, and hunt for shinies. This is why I play Pokemon Go. It's because it's getting me out of my four imaginary walls. You know, um, but yeah. So I won 4 Pokemon Go pluses, and then so Boost Mobile sent me out those my prize for winning, and I was super excited. And in there had the 4 Pokemon Go pluses. It had a Boost Mobile sweater, which I got mad because I was like, I would love to rock a Boost Mobile sweater, but they sent me one that was white and orange. And again, white easily can get stained and hard to remove those stains. So that sweater sits with the visible t-shirt in my closet that I may wear, like when there's actually a blue moon, I may wear it, but I'm not going to wear it like I actively wear this And1 hoodie because I don't want it to get ruined. I was thinking they were going to send me like a black and orange hoodie or crew neck, something like that. But they didn't. They sent me a white one. Then I got some Boost Mobile hand sanitizer, some earbuds, and a stress ball that you can squeeze. I got those. So yeah, that was like winning stuff. Was like pretty crazy. Memorable moment throughout my time. I think I did an unboxing. I don't remember if I did. Another point, new mobile. Being sent out to G3 Plus to review was crazy. I forgot who it was who told me to reach out to them. I don't know I think it was Tony Pazzo who DM'd me, and he was like, just reach out to them on Twitter and ask them and see if they'll let you review the G3 Plus. And I did. Like I tell people like not to bug these companies directly up and say, give me a phone to review, because most of the time they don't. But New Mobile was one of the ones that was an exception to the rule. However, I believe that New Mobile checked you out first before making some sort of deal with you about sending you a review unit. But they sent me to G3 Plus, and I was super excited. Again, like a dork, but I wasn't going to sugarcoat anything. And I'll tell you guys that the New Mobile G3 Plus was actually a really solid phone. Really was. The only gripe that I had, and I said it in that video, was the audio recording. If you were to shoot a video, your audio was very faint. I don't know if they ever fixed that, but the New Mobile G3 Plus is really solid. I ended up dropping it by accident. And it just, the casing on the phone itself just got destroyed. Chunks of the glass came off. And I'm not going to ask New Mobile to send me another phone. Phones aren't cheap, Phones aren't, they're kind of expensive. So I'm not going to ask them for another phone just because I, broke the one that they gave me to review. So I ended up not having the G3 Plus. That's why you guys didn't see any more videos of the G3 Plus doing any comparisons with the G3 Plus to another phone, was because I broke it. And so, but I'll tell you guys that, getting these opportunities like Treb Labs, shouts out to Treb Labs for, hooking me up with 2 of their products to review. I still didn't do the full review on the wireless, the true wireless X5s. I'm slowly working on that video. I want to take my time with that one to give you guys all kinds of aspects about it. I know it's been like over a month and a half now. I did the video on the Z2 headphones. Those are some solid headphones. I'll tell anybody right now, those things they kick some major bass. Isaac, thanks for coming in and watching, bro. Take it easy, and Happy New Year. And you'll see me next year, because it's right around the corner in a couple of hours. But yeah, being given those opportunities, people reaching out to me via Gmail and asking if I'm interested in reviewing their products and services, it's been great. Now, I haven't taken every option thrown my way. I pick and choose what I think would be something that you guys would be interested in. Because the last time I just straight took a deal, took a deal on what, like on a tripod, and I did a video about it, and it barely got any views. So a lot of people are not really into tripods or things like that, and my channel is not circulated in that realm of like camera gear, camera recordings, and things like that. So, I didn't get that much views. When it comes to phones, I get a lot of reviews. If it comes to like topics like Google Fi, Mint Mobile, or Boost Mobile, Virgin Mobile, like those videos get a lot of traction. I know that's where my main bread and butter is, and then I try to eat outside on a different lane. I'll talk about a movie reviews or video game, and some of those videos don't get a lot of views. But when someone tells me like, yo, you should do other things besides tech, like I really enjoy your movie reviews, that really inspires me to do more of those things. Live streams, people are like, you don't do a lot of live streams, and it's like, yeah, I know, I don't do a lot of live streams. Why is this person parking behind me? And Jesus, I hate when people do that, because I'm like, if you're trying to do something, then let's go. I'm not mean, please don't think of me that way, but I'm not a pushover, and definitely not threatened by anybody. So if someone wants to get weird, because like, yeah, if you look around, if I showed you around my apartment complex, it looks like a really nice neighborhood. It's actually not. Like right across the street that way is the projects, and the people from there, they come in here, and like I was telling Carlos last night when he dropped me off after I was helping him test the 5G downtown Phoenix, like the gates. This is supposed to be a gated community, but all the gates are broken. Like none of the gates are locked anymore. You can literally like grab the handle and pull the gate open to get into any of the side gates, and then like the main gates that are supposed to open and close, allowing cars in and out. This one right here, which is the back gate or the exit gate, is bent and pushed in because someone rammed their car into it. And then the entrance gates on the other side of the property, those ones are stuck staying open because some jerk decided to smash their car into it. I don't know why. Yeah, people nowadays. So, but yeah, the inspiration to do more is there, and I'm trying to find a good way to do these videos where it doesn't sound like my tech videos. Like, shocking enough, the video I did about Soulja Boy, I remember that one, Soulja Boy game console. Man, I said some things on there. Maybe I shouldn't have said those things. I don't know. But yeah, from 2011 to 2019, has been a very crazy journey. Starting with 0 subscribers, getting to 10,000 subscribers. The people I met along the way that I can literally now say, like, they're my friends, like Sneed, Sam, if you guys don't know. I'm very humble that, he brought me on his live streams. I'm very humble in the fact that, he's trying to help me get my views back. I noticed that, that when I appear in his live streams in the comments, or, he's always like, you guys take a moment and subscribe to Aloha Android. And I don't say it right then and there, and you guys can't see my expression, but I'm just like, wow, it's a good feeling. This may sound sappy and emotional, but it's a good feeling when you have someone who backs you like that. Because I enjoy his videos, and his stuff is like astronomically huge compared to what I can bring. He knows a lot about the infrastructures of networks, LTE bands, business etiquette with these companies. He knows a lot about them, things that I will say I don't know. And which is why I'm an avid follower of his channel, because I learn a lot from At&t. I learned a lot from him. And Pete, I'm just like, wow, the things that he does, the projects that he's involved in, it's super crazy, but like I'm learning a lot from him too. And then last night I got to meet Carlos, and Carlos is a really good dude. Carlos, I had fun. I had fun walking. I hope he had fun hanging out with me, because I had fun hanging out with him. We walked around and we were trying to find all the nodes, and we were trying to test all 4 carriers 5G compared to each other, and I had a blast doing it. And I regret not bringing my monopod with me, because I could have just vlogged that whole experience while we were on the live stream with Sneed, and I could have vlogged it and uploaded that for today's video. And so I kind of regret that, because that was a lot of fun. And we walked around. I felt odd because he put one of his Note 10 5Gs in my hands, and actually 2 of them, I think, and then one of them was a OnePlus 7 Pro, and I was holding these phones, and I'm like, we're walking around downtown Phoenix, and I know how downtown Phoenix can get. I mean, with all the druggies down there and desperate people and whatnot. So I'm like, I'm holding, like, what I would say $3,000 worth of electronics, and I'm like, so I'm like looking around, and then after the live stream ended, I told Carlos, I was like, I hope you don't think I'm weird that I was looking around. I was just watching the environment, because I'm not gonna let you get robbed here. I mean, I know Carlos can take care of himself and everything like that. I'm not saying he can't, but like, I just felt like I didn't want anyone messing with him or trying to take his stuff. You know what I mean? So like, if someone was gonna come up and try, then yeah, I got bail money, so I'll just start whooping on somebody, just prevent them from doing anything to Carlos. And yeah, so I told him that, and he was like, oh, it was cool. But I mean, we walked around, we were hunting 5G, and then after the live stream ended, we just talked, we just had conversations. I know he's heading back to Vegas today. He said this afternoon he may swing by, and I know my brother's coming over with his daughter, so we're gonna barbecue around 1 in the afternoon. And hopefully Carlos comes through and he just hang out for a little bit before he has to head back. But yeah, Carlos is a really good dude. And then yeah, he, like, I don't know if you guys remember some of my videos, I said that there was possibly going to be a sponsor, because I was trying out iOS for the first time, and I got the iPhone 6s. And then Mike from Budget Tech Reviews was like, yo, I got an iPhone 7. He's like, I'll sell it to you. And I'm like, I don't have the money for it right now, but I don't know if you'll let me use it. That'd be cool. He's like, yeah, I'll let you use it. Just pay me later. So, I'm buying the iPhone 7 off of him. And then I told you guys that I had a sponsor who might possibly allow me to use Phone Tech at Work. What's up, bro? So I said I had a sponsor that might, hook me up with like an iPhone 10s to let me use. So, I can use a newer iPhone compared to using an older iPhone. And that sponsor was Carlos, but I didn't want to bug him. I didn't want to, like, be on him like, hey, are you going to let me use that iPhone 10s? I didn't want to do that, right? That's so rude. Even if Carlos made the offer, but, he has his business to run. He has his life to deal with. Like, you don't just do that. So, last night, we hung out, we talked, and then, since I got dropped off downtown because my fiance dropped me off and she went back home and she was tired, I didn't want her to pick me up. So I asked Carlos, like, hey, if you can give me a ride home, I'll show you where I live. So whenever you come back to Phoenix, you could just come through and, we can hang out. So he ends up whipping out the iPhone 10s, and that's how I got it. I'm going to do some videos about it. I know it's not brand new tech. Channel 808, what's up? How's it going? Aloha, good morning. But yeah, that's how I came upon the 10s. He really did. He put it in my hands. He said, use it for however long I want. So it's not my phone. He didn't give it to me. This is not my phone. But he did let me hold on to it and use it. 10s still boss. I'll agree there. I mean, there's still a lot that I'm learning about it, so I really can't give, like, my perspective just yet. One thing I will tell you guys, though, Face ID is crazy fast on the iPhone 10s. I'll tell you that right now, and works in the dark. I woke up at 7:02 a.m. this morning, okay? Here in Phoenix, it's still dark at 7:02 a.m. The sun is just about to start coming out. So in my room, which is right over there, I have those Venetian blinds, and they're zip closed, right? So there's not really any light in my room. My son is, like, right next to me because, he wants to stay in my room and sleep. And it's dark. And so I'm like, okay, I had this on the wireless charging pad. I took it off of there. I'm like, okay. And I had already set it up last night. So when I picked it up, the screen awoke, and I seen the lock icon. flip unlocked, and I'm like, wait a minute, it saw my face in this. So I turned the screen off, put the phone down, picked it up, and before I even hit the power button, and it unlocked. And I'm like, it unlocks in the dark. Okay, I gotta admit, that's cool. I'm sold on Face ID for that. That is cool. If you can pick that up. Now, Google, if you're gonna continue your version of it in the Pixel 5, you gotta do it like that, and not with eyes closed. Okay? Don't do it with eyes closed, Google. Make it better. Because Face ID, I'm sold on that. Having it basically paired up with my banking app already, having that paired up with my Visible app, Face ID to unlock, it's crazy. I still love the fingerprint sensor. I still love that. I wish it had both. And yeah, so I'm going to be doing a lot of testing between my Pixel 3 and my iPhone XS that I'm holding on to. Shouts out to Carlos for letting me hold on to it, to use it. And yeah, humbling experience that, Carlos, being blessed, is, I call him a sponsor because literally he's letting me hold on to the iPhone XS. Weird flex, but okay. What do you mean weird flex? Like that I'm flexing? If that's what you think, I really am not. I'm just talking about my experiences from 2011 to 2019. Well, I don't know. However you see it, you see it. But know that I'm not a pretentious and an obnoxious person. I'm not. I'm still on the iPhone 8 Plus. Going to be hard to move to the new iPhone. And learning pain and no money. Oh, well, I mean, eventually, these, I have found it. I use OfferUp. I'll tell you guys right now. Like for some of the other phones that I'm looking into getting and grabbing, I'm going through OfferUp, and people are actually negotiating fair prices with me. I would say look through OfferUp. And even if you go for something like an iPhone 10 or something like that, yo, CV, what's up, man? How's it going? Not flexing at all. Yeah, no, I don't do that. That's just not me. I'm not. I don't feel like that anyone should be doing that. I feel like if you flex like that, or if you flex on anybody, if you just flex to flex or whatever, you're asking to get robbed. And believe me, I know what it's like, because I got robbed in 2014, 2015. I think I shared that video when I got the Boost Max or the ZTE Max, not the one that had 16 gigs of storage. So not the gold one, but the first one that was silver. It had like 8 gigs of RAM. Low spec back in the day. It was like 2014 or 2015. Somewhere around there it happened. But yeah, someone thought it was an iPhone 6 Plus and robbed me. Yeah, it was. Your opinion on the iPhone 7 and XS. Oh yeah, definitely I'm going to do it. I mean, I'm streaming right now from the iPhone 7. So, but yeah, I'm definitely going to be making videos on that. And yeah, I made the jump. I didn't switch. I think that's what people got to understand. I didn't switch to iOS. I still rock the Pixel 3 and use Android. I just felt like, at this point in time, like I stuck by Android for so long. And like when I was thinking about it, I felt like it from this point of view. I felt like people were really going to take me serious, especially if I wanted to talk about iOS. People couldn't take me serious because I didn't use anything that had iOS. So yes, I had to make that jump. And like I said in the video that I made yesterday, if someone told me right now, you have to choose one and stick with one, I'd stick with Android. But thankfully, I'm not being pinned in the corner to do that, so I can rock the best of both worlds. And iOS, I'm having a great time using it. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have its customizations like Android does, but that's okay, because then it would be Android if it did that. iOS is okay being what it is, and Android is okay being what it is. And yeah, competition is great. I'll have the iPhone 8 Plus and the LG G4. The iPhone 8, I was like thinking about getting that because like I have the 7, and getting something newer would have probably have been the 8. Is that what I would have gone after? Like I say, I'm cash poor. I don't have money to burn on phones, so it's not like I can go and grab phones. And so opportunities like this, like Carlos letting me hold on to the XS and letting me try it out, and then he gave me his AT&T SIM so I can try out AT&T. So now I basically got Google Fi. I got Verizon using Visible Wireless, and then I have an AT&T SIM that's active there that I can just switch out and use, and test out AT&T. Carlos is a really good dude. So you're watching this on the G4 on Wi-Fi, dope. Um, by the way, speaking of that, so what was it? Yeah. So now 8:08. Are you currently living on the islands? And if so, which island do you live on? And if so, do they still do the fireworks at Ala Beach Park area? Just out of curiosity. I haven't seen the fireworks in you're on Oahu? What area? Like, you don't have to be descriptive exactly what area. Like, if you live Kaneohe? Oh wow. Do they do the fireworks at Ala Beach Park still? Because it has been a cool minute. Like, I went back and visited family, but when I actually lived in Hawaii, that was back in like 2003 was when I last lived there. Oh, they do? Are you going? Those things are fun, but when it's so packed over there, it's hard. And then I remember, oh, you're not going? Okay. Because for me, like when I was younger, I could be around like a massive group of people, but right now, I don't know, maybe it's because of with age. I'm 37, and so I'm starting to feel that point where it's just like, I don't like being around massive groups of people. And I remember having to like fight my way to get all the way to Magic Island area just to feel like I got better areas. Oh, okay. How cold is it in Phoenix right now? Right now it is 51 degrees. Last night it dropped to I think like 41 or like 39. Twitter. Yeah, it's unusually cold here. And it's unusually cold in San Diego too. San Diego, even out there in Long Beach, California, was like unusually cold. But like I was reading the news, I saw there was a massive cold front that stretched from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast. And it just brought some real cold weather. 51 is a nice day over here in the East. Cool. Temps are usually warm here. Oh yeah. Yeah, RJ. I don't know. I'm. This is my Christmas gift because I don't know if you guys rock with me for a long time. You guys know that I like the cold, and I guess I like the cold because I lived in warm places, right? Like I lived for years in Hawaii. I grew up in Aliamanu near Salt Lake. Prior to that, when I was younger, like I said, my dad was in the United States Air Force, so I lived in the Philippines. I was in on Clark Air Force Base. I was there for the Mount Pinatubo eruption where we had to evacuate off there. I lived in Guam for a little bit, and Guam is really humid and hot. So like I was always around warm places. So when I came to the mainland and actually experienced winters with snow and the blizzard that hit Oklahoma in 2004, I just like cold weather because you can put on layers of clothes. Okay, well when it's like really hot. Here in Phoenix, you can't take off layers or you're going to end up getting arrested. Plus, too, I ain't trying to make people blind. I'm 47 and got my first cell phone when I was 19. Crazy. Do you remember pagers? The past couple of days have been near 70, but it's in the 50s today. Oh, okay. Well, so you got the warm weather. You guys usually get the cold weather, though, right, RJ? Yeah. Yeah, pagers. I still remember the pager codes, and I can't believe I can still remember how to type in code using numbers to create words. What was that company? Page Plus, I think that's what it's called. I forgot who it was. But I also had pager service with VoiceStream before they became T-Mobile. Rampage away. Yeah, that was the thing, right? Like you would page people with codes, and then you would steal phone service from the payphones using the paperclip technique, where you put one end of the paperclip into the microphone receiver area. I think it was like not the very center, but like close to the center hole. And then when you dial your number that you were gonna call, you would have to like tap the other end of the paperclip to the metal cord that goes into the payphone booth, and that's how you would actually steal phone calls without having to pay quarters to initiate a phone call. And yeah, I remember doing that. So Pearl Ridge Mall security had banned me from there for doing that so many times. They would catch me, and then, like, you know, back then the style, you know, growing up, Menace pants and Body Shop jeans, you know, they were real huge, big baggy pants, Ben Davis shirts and stuff like that. So I would always have like a massive amount of like paper clips in my pocket and things like that. Pearl Ridge Mall banned me for life, so I'm not supposed to go back over there, but it's not like they remember who I am now. But yeah, you know, crazy times, crazy times. You still have some of your old pagers? Wow, dude, you should. I'm telling you, man, retro tech is coming back. Look at MKBHD. He's actually doing a series about retro tech where he brought, like, what was it, the video I watched the other day? He brought the Macintosh. He brought that and you know, showed it off and talked about it. The episode after that, he talked about the Sega Genesis. 1-800, I'm telling. Go for it, dude. You think like taking free calls from a payphone's a felony, man? It's really not. But yeah, so you know what, RJ? Hey, you know, it may not grab a bunch of views, but it'd be really cool to see, you know, an old pager and things like that. That'd be really cool. Yeah, so 2020 is going to be a little bit different. New year, new things. My first one was the Moto 8000. Mine was like 55 cents. 55 cents on peak and then 25 cents off peak. Oh, okay. I think my first phone, what the hell was it? It wasn't the popular Nokia 30, I think 3330, was it? It wasn't that one. It was a smaller Nokia. I can't remember what model number it was, but it did all the flashy things to it, you know, like take it over to one of those third-party sellers and had them like take the original case off of it and put it in a clear case with the blinking battery and all that stuff. Yeah, my first cell phone was a Nokia. I also got one of those what they called, Sprint back then called them smart shells. So like they were like, you know, flip phones that had really old internet browsing on that thing. I mean, you use it for phone calls and texts, and then if you got online, then you can like go on chat services and chat with people across the world. And I remember doing that, and yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, those were my first phones. Before that, it was like pagers, and I remember I had like 2 or 3 pagers, and you know, the VP of my school thought that I was a dealer because I had so many pagers, and it wasn't even that. It's just like, it's the same thing like right now. Like I have like 2 or 3 phones on me. I mean, but I'm not a dealer or nothing like that. So, well, that time Face ID didn't work. Let's see. Twitter. Oh, shouts out to Sneed for liking my tweet. Got a new follower and some Instagram stuff. Cool. I wonder if that's the same notification or not. Oh, this one has Facebook on it. Oh, it's my old boss's birthday. I should probably send him out. I'll send him a shout out here too. Izzy, happy birthday. Izzy's a cool dude. So let me tell you guys about him real quick. Because when I used to work for Sprint Retention, he was my team lead. Awesome guy. And so I'll share an interesting story with you guys before I go. So Izzy was my team lead, and like he knew that I had a YouTube channel. He knew I talked about tech and everything like that. So you know, he knew I was just very passionate about it. And I remember when our call center was gonna transition to what they call soft phones. So they were using the I think it was called Viaphone. That's what it's called. But they were using the what they call the hard phone because it's a physical phone, and your headset would plug into that, and then you know you would talk to customers through that. They wanted to transition to what they call soft phones, where the phones was natively part of the software on the computer. So you still needed the hard phone to line jack into the line to get customers calls in, but you controlled the aspect of the call. So if you had to transfer them to another department, If you had to put them on hold, if you had to do a three-way calling, everything was done from the soft phone, so the little digital phone on the screen. I remember they were going to transition into that. And, Izzy, he's a smart guy. You know, he was the guy that the company didn't like because he made waves against them, because he knew the best way to have performance is to have your employees happy. As a matter of fact, I solely believe that Izzy was the reason why our call center, compared to the other retention call centers for Sprint, was number one 6 months in a row. The whole last half of 2017, we were number one. We had the lowest churn rate. We had the lowest port outs. We had the most resolutions solved. We were number one, and I believe it was because of Izzy, because he would do things. Like he would plan barbecues and feed people that are at work, just to show them that they appreciated all their hard work. We did things on the holidays. We decorated our cubicle rows for Halloween and made haunted houses out of them, just to do something fun at work. So it was always enjoyable being at work. And happy employees meant for happy phone experiences, meant for taking number one in competition with other call centers. But anyways, so yeah, he knew that I knew a lot about tech, and he knew that I was very adamant with my job. I liked my job. He wanted me to promote. He wanted me to become floor support really quickly, because he knew not only did I like helping customers on the phone, but I also enjoyed helping my fellow coworkers. And so he got me to become floor support. And but anyways, I remember when they were transitioning to the soft phones, he knew that there were certain people who would hang up, right? So if you guys ever had Sprint and you guys called and complained, and you guys got transferred to account services, and you were talking to that rep, and then all of a sudden the phone went dead, and you suspected, dang it, they hung up on me, and you have to call back in and talk to a whole different person and repeat everything that you just said, 9 times out of 10 they did hang up on you. And so Izzy wanted to know how they were doing it, and so he was like, hey, he's like, I got your back. I'll make sure that Sprint Corporate doesn't come down on you. I'll make sure that the operations manager doesn't come down on you. I want you to find out how people are doing this. Obviously, that meant that I was going to take calls, and obviously I was going to purposely try to disconnect from that call. And so I chose the ones that weren't major issues, right? So if it wasn't something about incorrect billing, if it wasn't something about trying to get a replacement phone or any of that stuff, I wouldn't try to disconnect the call on them, because that would definitely be a bad experience. But if it was just someone who was like accidentally transferred from international to me, because like they were trying to set up international calling because they were going to go vacation, and someone transferred them to the wrong department and got them to me, then I would make it apparent to let them know how to get in touch with international by giving them the direct 800 number to the international department. But I would tell them to hang on and see if I can get them connected over, and I would purposely disconnect. Not a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing to do, but we were trying to find out how other care reps were hanging up on customers. Beta tester. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I figured out what they were doing. So when you get to work, you pull up all your systems on your computer. You log into the hard phone that connects to the switch server in the, that's where the servers are. And then when you pull up the soft dialer, you have to log into that. The soft dialer, or the soft phone, links with the hard phone, basically, so you can jack into the server and get calls that are waiting in queue. Now, if you hit the disconnect button on the soft phone, which is the dialer pad that's on the screen of the computer, it gets logged. So that means that Sprint can see that you hung up on a customer. Now, if you hit hang up on the hard phone, it could also be caught. The way that they were doing it was, on the hard phone, you have 6 lines. This is how you can create a conference call. Now, to effectively do it, you would have to put the customer on hold. Then you would have to tap the second line to open a new line, dial into the department that you're going to be, or whatever number you're going to have a conference call with. Once that call starts to ring, there is a specific button that says transfer. There's one that says conference, and then there's one that says release. So if you hit the release button, that gets counted, so they know you hung up. You hit conference to bring all of you together. But you have to put the first call on hold. So you hit the first line to put it on hold. Now, if you don't do that, if you're on a live call on line 1 and then you tap line 2 like you're trying to open up a second line, it's going to hang up the first line. That's how they were hanging up on customers. So anyone that has Sprint, you now know this trick. So if someone hangs up on you, you can now tell, if you call back in, you can now tell the supervisor to look and see if they opened a second line. Because everything you do on the hard phone is logged. But when they see that you open up a second line, they're assuming that you're trying to do a conference call. And any one of the reps there can play stupid and be like, I'm not familiar with the hard phone. I was just trying to do a conference call, and get away with it. But initially, they hung up on them to avoid hard work. Too much work just to dump a customer. Yeah, it is. But a lot of people do that because account services, we get hit with some of the hardest things ever. Like, one, we're trying to prevent a customer from leaving Sprint by solving the overall problem that they're having. And sometimes the overall problem they're having is very technical. Like, them not getting reception when there's like 6 towers in their area and they should be connecting to either of them. You have to troubleshoot that. Like, account services has to deal with everything that customer care does, that technical support does, that finance does. Like, account services bleh, is the last line of defense before a customer walks away. And so we have to do everything. There is no, we just have one specific job. We do everything. We're the last line of defense. So, yeah, some of these guys, they like the bonuses, because I'll tell you guys right now, like, for 6 months in a row, there was a guy named Charles that I competed with, because he was like the top guy who could, he could sell product. He was a good salesman. So when he was helping customers, not only was he helping customers, but he was getting them to upgrade. He was upselling them. He was getting them to upgrade to a newer iPhone, upgrade to this package or whatever. So we would get bonuses. I'll tell you guys that much right now. And I've had some really huge bonuses working for Sprint. I mean, overall, what I was making, and then on top of that, bonusing anywhere between, $1,400 to $2,000, and that's in 1 month. That's a 1 month bonus take on top of my 2 paychecks in that month. That's what I was making there. So, I kind of miss those days. Giovanni, what's up? But that's what I was making. Doing that, and I'll tell anyone right now that works retention, if you want a bonus money like that, I'll tell you, you have to care about the customer. Like, not fake care about it, not tell them what they want to hear on the phone, but you actually have to give a damn about getting their services up and running to their standards. You have to care. Carlos, what's up? Like, you just have to care. If you don't care, you're not going to bonus money like that working retention for Sprint. So that's the idea of it. But yeah. Anyhow, wow, 87 minutes in. I should really get going because I have to go run around and grab some stuff. So anyways, guys, Carlos has a YouTube channel, okay? So I'm going to ask everyone that's here in the live stream, if you have not subscribed to Carlos, please do. And I'll tell you guys this right now. He runs around and he tests 5G to show you guys what you guys can expect from 5G. The devices that he carries with him, he carries a T-Mobile device, Sprint, Verizon, At&t. The point that he does this is to show you guys is because he's trying to help people not go and spend $1,500 on a 5G capable phone, i.e. for T-Mobile, because T-Mobile right now is the talk subject of it, and then have data speeds that's pulling like, 10 megabits per second. I mean, literally, like last night, walking around with him testing 5G, like I really see, a lot of the aspects of it now. Like I seen him test Sprint, and Sprint was doing like 200 megs, and even at one point it went up to like 600 megs per second. AT&T doing pretty good, Verizon doing good at times. T-Mobile always hitting like, I haven't seen T-Mobile go over 20 in the time that we were testing it last night. I never seen it go over 20 megabits down. It has great upload speeds. It's not going down, which is why a lot of people in layman's term, without having to know LTE bands and infrastructures and network build outs, but people can kind of see that the merger needs to happen. Because with Sprint's download, which Sprint has very good download speeds, and T-Mobile's uploads, those two combined would make a great experience. That's why they need to come together. Gas station phones do 5G better. Really? Well, you're just being funny. I know you're just being funny, but that's cool. that's cool. You know, people gotta do and say things. But yeah, definitely give Carlos a subscribe to his channel. Just, you know, I guess you guys can click on like on his post, and it'll bring him to his channel. I'll bring you guys to his channel. Give him a subscribe. Follow him on Twitter. You guys can follow me on Twitter, Aloha_Android, and then, you know, you guys can get linked up with Carlos. Follow him on Twitter. He's very active on Twitter. Posts a lot of videos showing you guys 5G results. Yeah, you did already. Awesome. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So anyways, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for making this channel what it is. From 2011 to 2019, I mean, it's been a great journey, and more to come. Now that we're jumping into the next decade. That was crazy. We tested it during dead hours, and still T-Mobile was slow. Yeah, it was. There was hardly anyone walking around downtown Phoenix because it was so cold last night. Well, not so cold. Cold for people that live here in Phoenix, but not like not freezing cold. But still, there wasn't a lot of foot traffic or anything like that, and it still was that slow. So it was pretty crazy. But yeah, anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna go back inside, get ready for the evening, and then yeah, I'll see you guys next year. So thank you guys for being my friends. Really appreciate it. And as always, aloha.